Welcome to my podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm so excited you are here. You'll hear some incredible stories about how people are serving around the world, how they overcame a struggle, how they serve. These shows will give you an edge in business and your personal life. I believe serving over sales will help you grow in so many ways. And now, about our incredible sponsor, Info. Info is a web app that puts your business on people's cell phones when you meet people online or in person. They can engage with your business or send out referrals with a button click, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The power of business is connecting with more people. Remember, your network is your net worth. Info will do this for you. I would love to help spread the word about these shows, so please subscribe to this podcast and find us on all your podcast platforms. Please share with anyone you know who could benefit from our shows. Please enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, with Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. And I have a gentleman here. We met a while back, reconnected, and he's really using service and money together, which is hard to do, but he's really succeeding with this. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. Look,
first thing I want to ask you, make every dollar you earn spendable twice. What does that mean? Tell the audience.
Well, basically, I had a problem when I had a fire and I wasn't able to get back some money that I gave to the bank on my mortgage. And I thought, I need to be able to redraw funds, especially if that was not a planned payment. And I also wanted to be able to leverage money that could do more things at once than just spend it and it's gone. I didn't want to have to give up the control of that dollar bill. And I wanted that dollar bill to do more things because I wanted not just cash flow, but the ability to pay down debt and build wealth at the same time, which most advisors tell you can't do.
And
you can't accelerate both, but you can.
Interesting. How do you serve your clients with the money?
How do I serve them?
Yeah. What value do you give them? Because there's a million financial guys out there. We talked about before. When I say serve, what makes you unique and what do you do to make sure they get there?
Okay. Hey, that's a great question. So, most American families, Steve, and businesses are just flat out paying too much for their loans, their interest, their debt, especially now, right? And leverage banking, which is what I teach, provides our clients with an immediate boost in their cash flow. And the nice thing about that is they get a faster debt elimination as a result, about 70% faster. In fact, most people on a 30-year mortgage are done in 5 to 7 years. And then when they recapture an average of $100,000 to $200,000 in interest and often $200,000 or more in payments they no longer have to make, when we can show them how to create tax-free wealth with that, it basically what it does is it gives them an unprecedented tax-free financial transformation. So whether they are a real estate investor or even a family office worth 30 million or more, or clear down on the other end of the spectrum, a young adult going to college and they're riddled with student debt. If you've got a social security number and a checking and savings account, we would like to be able to show you how your checking and savings accounts are actually hurting you. You're giving the bank your money and you're not getting paid for it. And we show people how to leverage a system that not only crushes the debt, like I said, but helps you not be a victim of the way the banks are set up.
Money, I love that. Money can be complex. Money can be emotional. Tell me a story of a client you helped, because I think a story could tell this even better than what you just did.
All right. Well, instantly, when you started asking me to tell a story, and like you said, this wasn't scripted. I didn't know what you were going to ask. A woman's picture came into my head named Linda Bowles. Linda came to my company in about 2018. I met her through a savings club that I belong to. She's about 71. And Linda came to me with a set of problems. She said, look, when I'm done paying off bills each month and putting groceries in the fridge and gas in the car, Jason, there isn't $200 left. And usually something always comes up. This month, it was an oil change in the van. The next month, it was getting the dog groomed. But when the transmission overheats or when the water heater starts leaking, I've got to put it on a credit card. And I'm absolutely tired of going backwards. And she said, Jason, I have a special needs daughter. And I'm so worried that at 71, if something happens to me, She won't have a place to live. And the house I met her in person because she's in my town, Steve. And she said, this house I just built, and I knew she'd built it. I drove by and see it going up because her husband Lowell had passed away years ago and left her some life insurance. And as the house was aging and he wasn't around for the 15 or 20 years, as she was a widow, it kind of fell into disrepair. So they told her to doze it and just take the money and rebuild. So she took the last bit of money she had left from his life insurance, built this house, and still had a $150,000 mortgage. And she said, what bothers me the most is the bank put a 71-year-old lady in a 30-year mortgage. She goes, Jason, I'll never pay it off. I've got to do something, and I don't know what to do. I'm asking you. So 30 days later, Linda had $1,800 more cash flow. 30 days later, after meeting our firm, we had paid off her daughter's and her grandson's car using a home equity line of credit. And we had the daughter and the grandson agree, because she was co-signer on those loans, that if she would lower the interest by 1%, they would make the payments to her. Now, if they were a little late on the payment, it wouldn't destroy anybody's credit. And Grandma, Linda, could rebuild her savings account, which was depleted. She was so excited about that. And not only that, we were able to pay off her van and 3 credit cards and 1 personal loan. She now had that $1,800 a month. And by taking that money and using it inside of what we call velocity banking, we were able to create, and as a checking replacer, we were able to create an infinite banking account, which we'll get into in your next questions, infinite banking account, so that she could start building cash that was tax-free. And as her debt was coming down fast with our velocity banking, when her cash came up in her infinite banking, once they meet at about 60 months, she was going to be debt-free. She was blown away when I told her I could have her debt-free in a little over 5 years. Blown away. Now, here's the silver lining and the saddest part of this story. Linda died last year. But Linda got her house paid off, and she got her wish because we use insurance products as well as financial leverage. And so whether you live or die, our products deliver. And her daughter had a place to stay. But she was well on her way, and she enjoyed her last 3 years with that $1,800 more cash flow.
That's a great story. That sums it up, puts a bow on it. Let me ask you, who you look at, who's an ideal partner for the, I mean, not partner, but client for this program? It sounds like everybody. I don't know if it's for everybody, is it?
So let me answer that in the abstract reverse, or however you say that. Here's who's not a good prospect for our program. If you don't care about interest that you're paying, if you don't care about the fact that our federal government is spending more money than they've ever spent. Now, I don't care if you're liberal or conservative or libertarian or independent. They're all spending too much money, in my opinion. You go to usdebtclock.org, and that you could use that thing for a fan. During COVID, they added so much money, Steve, to our money supply. If you will message me on LinkedIn or whatever, I'll send you some videos that'll blow you away. That just depictions with no words on them, just pictures of how much money they printed. You realize it takes 11 days to count to 1 million, 11 years to count to 1 billion, but 32,000 years to count to 1 trillion. And we went from 26 to 31.5 trillion in debt during COVID. And our unfunded liabilities are 140 trillion. So that number's askew. Wow. So the thing about it is, people, if you're not concerned about that, you're probably not a good client. If you're not worried that taxes might not go up a little bit, they're probably going to go up a whole lot. And if you got a 401k and they go up to 50%, you now have a 201k. Forget any crashes to the market. Taxes are going to eat people alive, in my opinion, and in many professionals' opinion. And the fact that interest rates are through the roof, and you've got to stop the volatility. If our market crashes, you're going to lose a lot of money. If you have the potential to lose a lot of money if you're in the wrong investment. Yeah,
Linda's story tells me that it doesn't matter how much you have in the bank.
That's right. You can be our client if you don't have anything in savings.
Now that's interesting. Explain that.
Well, most people, if they've got a social security number and they're over 15, 16 years old, they have a savings and or a checking account. So, Steve, let's just say your son gets paid $2,000. He's making pizzas or flipping burgers. He's getting paid $2,000. Where's he going to put that check when he deposits it?
Checking account.
How much is the bank paying him?
Absolutely 0.000
And
trillion
what's the
percent.
bank's inventory? Money.
Yeah.
And where are they getting it? From people like your son. So, pardon me, but in your business, do you pay nothing for inventory? No, we have to pay for inventory. So $19 trillion is being given to the bank. You think there's something they're not telling us? So we start right there. We show people how to get 3, 4, 5, even 6% rate of return out of their deposits. And we show them how to exercise float, offset, and redraw. And we can get into that if you want to, but that's what we do.
Yeah, well, let's get into infinite banking because I know it's a partner with the velocity you were talking about earlier.
It is.
Let's talk more about infinity banking.
Okay. So velocity banking, where the float offset redraw involves replacing your checking account with a method of banking. Infinite banking, in our strategy, involves replacing your savings account with a savings account with an insurance company. Now, I'm going to start this conversation by telling you, I bet 50, 80% of the people listening to this podcast have heard someone say, buy term and invest the difference. Whole life sucks. I'll tell you where that comes from. I won't mention any names, but there are groups out there that are promoting this idea because of a major figurehead who came from an organization that doesn't know anything about a dividend paying company. Okay. I served as director of life insurance on a financial distribution platform that served thousands of advisors across the country. We were contracted with over 75 carriers, and I developed and built the entire life insurance division for concierge for advisors. Unfortunately, in 2021, the CEO got COVID and died at 41. Unfortunate. The friend that I brought along became the COO, and they wanted me to continue, but it only lasted about a year after that, just because there just wasn't enough people. That without John, it wasn't the same, right? Yeah. But one thing I learned there, I wanted to know why people thought cash value life insurance sucks. So I called over 100 carriers and I asked them this question: why is that rumor going around? Because if you Google Jesus, you're going to get any number of things. Doesn't mean that he didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to wax religion, but you know what I'm saying? You can Google something and find the left and the right hand view on it. Yep. So the same's true about insurance. The carriers themselves told me, here's a fact: 80% of the people who own cash value life insurance never take a loan. And I liken that to, why spend the money for a Lamborghini and overpay for something if you're not going to be given the keys, right? Yeah. Can't enjoy it without the keys, because the loan is where it's at. 70% who do, they told me, Steve, never pay the loan back because you don't have to. But if you don't pay the loan back, you don't get the benefit of infinite banking. And so many agents, here's what's making the whole industry askew. So many agents come and go, and they're commission centric. They just want the money for the policy, baby. And they don't teach Steve's mom and Steve's grandma and Jason's mom and aunt how to use their policy. They just write it for them and tell them about all of its wonderful benefits. And they never hear from them again. And the problem is they're not taking loans and they're not paying them back because they don't understand what happens. And I'll wrap it up by saying, here's infinite banking in a nutshell. You are overpaying for the policy on purpose. It's a forced savings account. Mm-hmm. It's going into cash value. When you make a payment into a house, part of its principal, part of its interest. The principal goes into equity and builds as you pay off the house. But as you know, amortizations are backwards, and most of your payments go into interest for more than first half of the loan. In fact, on a 4% loan, it's like year 17 before you're 50-50. It's horrible. But on cash value life insurance, we can buy partial term increments in there and keep the death benefit where it increases. So we never MEC it or modified endowment contract. It's never taxable. And we can cause the policy to not just grow inside, but externally. It'd be like when you take a home equity loan and put it back, your house is worth more. Yeah. Well, that's only true if you remodel the house, right? Well, with life insurance, remember you asked me, have each dollar spendable twice? Let's just say we took a $30,000 loan from $100,000 worth of cash value. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come from it. You're borrowing against the policy. Oh. The company uses the death benefit as the collateral. They use the cash value as your credit limit. And when you get indirect recognition the way the company treats the loan, they actually loan you their money out of the side fund or the general account.
Wow.
They leave your money alone. So
Wow.
guess what? You still got 100,000 in there, but you took possession of 30. Now, let's say they charged you 6%, just like the bank would. And let's say you borrowed it for 5 years. You're going to pay back both institutions, because math is math, 34,799. So it costs you almost $5,000 to borrow it. But Steve, stay with me. When you pay it back to the insurance company, all of a sudden they go, oh my gosh, they didn't have to pay that back. Oops. And since they did, I guess we've got to replenish their cash to where it would have been.
Wow.
Because it was just a statement showing you only had 70 available. You really had 100. Guess what? There's 10,558 new dollars you didn't have before, because compound interest best friend is time and uninterruption. And that's exactly what happens. And Steve, you just made $5,500 on your own money. So if you knew you could have the Ramona Family Trust or Wells Fargo, I shouldn't use a name on the air, sorry, anybody.
All right, you're good.
Let's say so-and-so bank, it doesn't matter what bank. You'd bank at which bank? The Ramona Family Trust. So you want to become your own banker. This is the book I recommend, and I'll talk about that in a while. And the way you do that is by borrowing from yourself, and the law lets you pay it back with interest. And the beautiful thing is it increases that credit limit from 100 to 110. And you get it, borrow it over and over and over for any reason. You don't have to be approved. And that's why it's infinite banking.
Interesting.
It's not an investment. It's a financial product that helps you do everything and go further, faster, farther financially. So you have I know so money to help all your other investments do better. You're perfectly positioned to jump on opportunities when everything crashes. You don't have to be hurt.
Right. Doesn't matter what kind of debt somebody has.
No, you can borrow the money for anything. And we don't use IULs at my organization too much for infinite banking. We use those for our tax-free retirement strategies, index universal life. We use modified whole life because it comes with a guarantee, like a minimum of 4%. That way, if you loan it, you won't blow the policy apart by depleting it.
Yeah.
Because as you know, when you die, you don't get the cash and the death benefit. You get just the death benefit minus any outstanding loans. So the way to get the living benefit out of a policy like this is to know how to exercise the tax-free provision in the IRS code of the loans against the cash value, not from it, but against it.
Do a shout out how people can get a hold of you. I know you're talking about some things people want to learn more. How can they get a hold of you?
There's a QR code on my screen there, but I have an info that I can send. But we are at Your Safe Money Solution, no S on the end, .com. That URL was taken, but Your Safe Money Solution, singular.com, or I'm Jason at yoursafemoneysolution.com, or they can reach out to me, 208-935-5180 by a text. That's usually the best way. They can reach out to me on LinkedIn and connect that way. Pretty reachable. That's the only social media I'm on. But we have a team of advisors so that if things get really where we have a lot of influx, we can handle that.
It's a challenge out there, listeners. You heard it here. He's helping your debt. That's one of the worst things in the world right now. It's the biggest problem besides COVID and inflation. But personally, I think, debt is terrible, and you can help. You bet. And this isn't just, I got to be careful. I'm not going to mention names, but this isn't just your regular, debt freedom transformation program like you see advertised on the radio. We have a software that has hundreds of algorithms that helps you exercise, not just the snowball and avalanche that you see these budget coaches using. It exercises velocity, infinite, all of them. It knows how expensive, if you laid out $4, one from your checking, one from your savings, one from your life insurance policy loan, and one from something else. It knows how expensive those dollars are. Which one cost you the most? Which one's the most valuable? Which one to pay off? Which one to spend? Which one to keep? Which one to disperse? It'll tell you when to pull the money, how much to pull it, and the account to pull it from. And we know how to massage that software and tell it we have a life policy. We call it an ILOC, an insurance line of credit, and we put your cash value in there. If you've got a loan against it, we tell that it's a debt. We tell it the interest rate, and it will leverage your credit cards, your policy, your equity line, your checking, your savings, all of that stuff to help you go further, faster financially and get out of debt to keep your debt-free date as quick as possible. And you educate people all through this process. You hand in hand with them, because it can be complicated, it sounds like, but you're there to answer any questions as the client walks through your process, correct?
Absolutely. And I have a twofold answer. I know how to make a complex subject around this easy. I don't know anybody that explains infinite banking the way I just did. And there's a lot of good people that know it, but I explain it in a way. I explain to some people, think of it like a toilet. You flush the bad down the toilet. When you take a loan, get rid of your debt. And what does the back fill up? With more water. But except for this tank gets bigger every time it refills.
Yeah,
so
overflows.
Things like that. We help you understand complex things with easy pictures, because that's how I think. Second of all, that's the manual transmission. If they want an automatic transmission because they are Linda Bowles and they're 71 and they don't want to learn, this old dog ain't learning new tricks. I hear one client tell me, a farmer. We just show them the software. It's like having a little financial guy on your shoulder telling you exactly where to pull it from, how much to pull it, when to pull it. Won't touch your money, but it'll make the suggestion.
Tell you what to do.
And it uses like an AI algorithm. You can't beat it. It does. Even though my brain's quick and your brain's quick, it's faster. It's amazing.
That's amazing.
I didn't develop the software. A friend did.
Well, that's good. I mean, and reach out, audience. This is amazing stuff. And that's why I wanted to have him on. You could tell he's serving, because tax-free wealth is the future.
Yes.
Slam
And
dunk.
there's a lot of people that talk about tax-free wealth, and they do a lot of different things. I just think we take a little bit different take on it so that we can actually educate people what's actually happening with the money behind the scenes and how to use what Kiyosaki says, opium, other people's money.
Yeah.
So we can help you get started in infinite banking, even if you don't have any redeployable cash flow right now. We can help you have cash flow.
That's awesome. Well, I want to jump in real quick. We talked about books earlier. You got a favorite book you could share with the audience?
I do. Let me kill the blur background. Oops, hang on. These virtual backgrounds, you gotta love them, you gotta hate them, right?
Love technology and hate it all at the same time.
When I hold it up, you want to be able to take a picture of it. All right. So, Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. Now, this book is not for the masses. This is for somebody who is got like an engineer mind. I can't see the book with my eye. I know it's in here, but Bank on Yourself by Pamela Yellen is a more story-oriented entity book. Now, that's on infinite banking. On velocity banking, I think people should either read Paying Off Your House in 5 to 7 Years from Clayton and Natalie Morris on Amazon, or 0 to 75 Units by Samuel and Daniel Kwok, Kwak, the Kwok brothers. I met those guys. They're incredible. And when I learned how to blend velocity banking as a checking replacer and infinite banking as a savings replacer using financial leverage and insurance products together, Steve, unbelievable. You get started with someone else's money and you get out of debt and you increase what you're doing over here. And now your money is protected by IRS 7701 and 7702, meaning you're tax-free on the loan provision and the death benefit. And if you get T-boned tomorrow, can't talk and walk, or you go in a nursing home because you lose a couple of your ADLs, they can't touch that asset. They can take your IRA, they can take your house, they can take your car, stuff like that that's not protected.
Yeah.
This is protected from nursing home spend out.
That's a slam dunk. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. We went over, which I'm glad, because you had a ton of information to give out. I'm glad you did, because there's a lot to be learned. Please reach out to him. His contact information will be in the show notes. Click on it. He'll sit and talk to you. I've had people talk to him 20 minutes. He'll teach you what he's doing and get you involved. And he does workshops too, right? You do workshops.
I do every Thursday night.
There you go.
Zoom ID 208-935-5180 at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central. And we're teaching people that fiat currency is going down. So at 6 p.m., which is 9 Eastern, we have a webinar on silver and gold. Would you like that meeting ID?
Set it up. Let's do it.
Okay, so that meeting ID that's at 6 p.m. Sorry, I wasn't prepared with this file open.
That's okay.
Give me 10 more seconds and I'll have it up on my screen. All right.
You got 10.
That Zoom ID. And if you don't know how to get on Zoom, folks, it's zoom.us/J for join, and then / and then this number, 623-881-3170. That's the gold and silver one, and how to monetize it. Not just own it, but how to share the idea and monetize it. 623-881-3170 every Thursday night, each week, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And just before that, the other one, same zoom.us/J is at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern on leveraging banking strategies for transformational wealth. That you'll see me giving a 30-minute presentation is the zoom.us/J 208-935-5180. But if you click on my info link, it's pretty simple and you'll find it there. I should have figured out a way to post that on my background here.
We'll put it in the show notes so people have access to that. Just go to the show notes if you didn't get these numbers and jump on those calls. Let's leave the audience with some advice. You've got a lot of information you shared. You've learned a lot over these years. What advice would you give the audience?
When I could not withdraw funds off of my mortgage because I had a fire that destroyed my business and I lost thousands of dollars in cash flow, and I asked the bank back for my money that I'd put on the month before, and they told me no. The lady said, "I guess you just don't understand amortization." And I said, "Boy, I guess I don't." And when I stared at my mortgage statement and I saw the word mort meant death, my eyes were open. I know all I need to know. I need to start studying what amortization is and why I can't redraw the funds. You need to go learn what float, offset, and redraw mean. Read books, watch videos. And if you want a shortcut to my arduous studies, get a hold of me. There is a free downloadable report on my website at yoursafemoneysolution.com. And I'll send you some videos, some recommended reads, and give you a jump start so you'll know right where to start. You won't be looking at a library wondering which book to pull off the shelf.